What's going on, RCDS? And today's video, I'm just going to talk about one of the other foundations of the brand here at RCDS, and that is the mental aspect of things. My slogan is, we are shaping people's lives to lose weight physically and mentally. Losing the weight mentally is the first step to losing the weight physically, in my opinion. Again, this brand isn't something that I'm going to just push on the masses and push on, social media for for other people just to jump on, and I'm not going to be a part of it. This started out as just my journey with these two things that I've dealt with for the last 5 years. The mental aspect, dealing with it since I was actually 14. But, creating a foundational brand company that takes this stuff really seriously. The reason for the calling it like losing mental weight is because we hold so much stuff up here that it affects everything that we do outwardly. At least that's been my opinion. I'm not a doctor, not my opinion, but my experience. I'm not a doctor. I don't have any real certification in the mental aspect of things, but I have real life experiences. So, just to give you a quick rundown, and I'm being very transparent, some people are going to watch this video and not even know the level that this has, taken me to. And I've suffered with it, like I said, since I was 14. Anxiety, depression, and anxiety looks different for everyone. There are people who suffer with social anxiety who, can excel in other areas with, mental things. And one thing that's always held me back from expressing it outwardly and, coming to the public with it is that in our community, it's almost like frowned upon. It's frowned upon to say you have something like anxiety, or say that you're depressed, or go talk to someone, not even like a therapist or a psychiatrist, but like a friend or a family member who can understand what you're going through. You may hear, oh, you'll grow out of it, or you're just being lazy, or you just don't want to face reality. Whatever it is, it's frowned upon. And I didn't even get to that point. I just held it in. I didn't want to even outwardly express it to anyone, because when I started to really figure out, like, why I do things that I do, why I move the way I move, is because it was the anxiety, and it was the depression, and it was the lack of acceptance that I created in my own mind. So when I just said that anxiety looks different from other people, for me it was, I had like social anxiety, but that caused me to not feel accepted by people. I felt like all the friends that I was making, they were becoming friends with the person that wasn't even real. They weren't becoming friends with me. They weren't becoming friends with the person that I knew I was. They were becoming friends with this character that I created. Like, when I tell you I would create a character, I would say, okay, people like flash, people like people that drink, people like people who, can make people laugh and all that other stuff. So I was just basically like becoming what I thought people wanted me to be in order to make friendships. So I was socially awkward. I didn't know how to just walk up to someone and start talking to them. At 34 years old today, I still don't feel confident in doing that. So all this weight that I've been holding up here was expressing outwardly, but in a anxious sort of way, in a depressed sort of way. So no one knew what was going on. You know, I would lie. Like, in addition to creating a character, I would lie about things, and that was basically my way of saying, okay, if it's cool to have a bunch of shoes like Jordans or whatever, I'll lie and say I have these shoes just to be able to participate in a conversation. And then I'll have to like really go out and buy them if someone asks to see them. And then I really actually got into owning and buying shoes. And that's not who I was. I don't care about Jordans. I don't care about that stuff. That's why I've sold all of them that I did waste the money on, because that's not who I was. I felt at that time that's what it took to be accepted. I didn't feel comfortable walking into a store doing that. But at the time, my friends were. So I felt like if they're doing it, I have to do it. And you can even say it's like having a follower's mentality, not being a leader. But it was the anxiety because I felt like I couldn't even be who I was. They wouldn't accept me because I didn't like the shoes. And that's just like a minute example. Even like approaching a woman, I didn't have a bunch of girls is because I didn't feel comfortable. I've always felt ugly, fat. Like, I felt like I couldn't be accepted. No woman would want me. So when I started to lose weight and get into the physical fitness space, it was to attract a woman because I thought women wanted abs, big arms, chiseled out chest. I thought that's what it took to get a woman. And I had to realize, like, why am I so... I mean, it would get to the point where I would be sitting in my house, in the apartment, whatever, and I would, like, I would be like, why am I so miserable? Like, I have all these people calling my phone and, wanting to hang out and stuff, but as I got older, like 25, 26, 27, 30, 31, I started to realize, like, they don't know me. Like, this is not who I am. I am a shy person. I'm an introvert. I can be funny at times. I don't know how to dress. Like, I feel like my voice is really stupid. So, like, doing a video like this triggers my anxiety. So, this is me just, like, fighting through it. And I'm being very transparent. And I say anxiety/depression because it will take you from a place of being out social with people. You're uncomfortable. You actually feel like you're there by yourself, and that's how I felt. So I would be driving home sometimes with no music on, and I would just be thinking like who am I? Like, why did I just go into this situation, get drunk, and that's not even like I started drinking at 21 because everybody else around me was doing it. And that was because I felt, again, I had to be accepted by these people, so I would drink. And I had no reason to feel that way. My parents raised me to be the king of all kings. Like, my parents did a great job, but I didn't get the mental part of things. Like, I felt that, I knew something was wrong. I just didn't know what it was. So I started doing research, like looking up symptoms of social anxiety and, social lack of confidence and self-awareness issues and self-confidence issues. All these things, I fit every single description. The being depressed, I fit every single description. So, like I said in the beginning, it's a scary place to be. And when you are approaching it and facing it and owning it, there's people who don't understand it. Somebody might watch this video now and say, it just sounds like you're weak. It just sounds like you just have confidence issues. That doesn't sound like that's something you could fix. And it may sound so simple, but it's really, anxiety is a real thing. And I do firmly believe that everyone has a little bit of anxiousness in them. If you're going to start a new job or if you're jumping into a new relationship, you kind of would feel uneasy if you didn't have a little bit of anxiousness to meet someone or a little bit of nervousness, but it goes away. That feeling that you have when you have that anxiousness or that anxiety about like going on a job interview or going to meet someone you're about to start dating, that feeling of like nervousness, imagine having that feeling from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, because just going out in public and interacting with people will cause you to do that. Getting out of bed is a small victory for me. Picking up the phone when it's a phone number that I don't know is a small victory for me. Doing these videos and posting on social media is a small victory for me. And it can be embarrassing because people will say, "Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy." It's not crazy. It's crazy if you continue to allow it to own you. But like, I took a year off social media, and that was part of that process, because I would post on social media straight up lying. Like, I was bossing up, like living this crazy wonderful life in Florida, and I had this lawn care business that was booming. Man, please. Like, if it wasn't for my mom, man, I wouldn't have no phone. I wouldn't have had a car. Like, because the lawn care business wasn't booming. Like, I made it seem like it was. You know, there's only so much you can fake till you make. But it was that anxiety. You know, it was the anxiety of feeling embarrassed. Like, feeling that people would laugh at me, or people would be like, oh, you stupid. Like, we knew you was going to fail. But now it's like, hey, I know what the root of the problem is. And you can sit there and say what you want. You could think what you want. You could say I'm whatever. But I'm at peace with it. Like, you can't steal my peace. You know, like, I'll do a video every day to grow myself. And that's the part with this brand of losing the weight mentally first. I can go in the gym all day, bench press 300 pounds, run 10 miles a day. But if I'm not right up here, I'm just wasting time. You know, it's a waste of time. So if someone comes to you and says they have anxiety, or they really have it, they feel depressed, don't turn them away. You know, don't take that on, you know, like deaf ears. Really listen to that person. That person may feel like they can trust you enough to tell you what's going on, to be there for you, or to, you know, be there for them, whatever it is. Just keep an open heart to someone that tells you that. And that's today's video. You know, I'm going to be very transparent to this. I'm going to level up to this. And like I said, it's all about losing it up here first, getting it right here first. Build these abs up here first. Level this up first. And that's just me giving advice to myself before I can get it everywhere else. So that's that. And I'm working on it every single day. I haven't really figured out the exact formula to it yet, but I'm working on it every single day. And every single day is a small victory for me. So if you watching this and you thought you knew who I was, and you thought you knew what the problem was, or I may have lied to you or did you dirty, now you know why. Like, if you ever made an appointment with me or made plans with me to hang out and I called and said, oh, something came up, it was that anxiety. It wasn't laziness. It wasn't like whatever you think it was. It was just, I was letting that anxiety and that depression win. But now, it is what it is. If you don't like me, cool. If you do, cool. I love you. Period. Flat out, I have no hate, no negative energy around me. So, thank you for watching this. Thank you for checking out RCDS, and thank you for following the brand. And I'll have another video, and just keep watching the journey.